The octuplet is on. Hear me out, right? And Sadio Mane, could he win the Ballon d'Or, right? He's won the African Cup of Nations. He's on for the quadruple. You've got the Stay With Me Community Shield. Is that what it's still called? I don't know. You've got the Super Cup. You've got the Club World Cup. I think I've got them all here. And then, of course, he'll win the World Cup with Senegal.
Absolutely.
If he wins all 8 of those, you've got to give it to him, haven't you? Or actually, here's the real question, Hugh. How many of those trophies does he need to get the Ballon d'Or, to pinch it from the likes of Mohamed Salah and Karim Benzema?
I mean, if Liverpool win the quadruple, I think that will go down as the great footballing achievement of the year in terms of any team, international or club team. And he has been an integral part of their success. He seems to be playing better and better as the season comes to a close. If he has a big effect in the semi-finals of the Champions League, the final there, of course, he's already had that big impact in the Premier League, and he maybe carries that forward to the Club World Cup. Then I think that's enough.
Right?
That'll do. We've seen what he's done in the AFCON as well. Now, look, it's interesting because at the moment, Sadio Mane isn't at the top of the list when it comes to favourites. But actually, when you look at footballing performances, the people ahead of him are maybe there on name and more about what they might do from here on out in terms of the rest of the year. Sadio Mane, in terms of what he has already done in 2022, is probably ahead of those players. Obviously, what he did, his exploits getting Senegal into the World Cup, but also winning the Africa Cup of Nations, and what he's done with Liverpool already, for me, puts him in the probably top 1 or 2 in terms of the Ballon d'Or. So, look, we know what it's like in a World Cup year. You know, there's a huge emphasis on that competition when it comes to whoever wins it. If there is an African team, any African team that's going to do well in this World Cup, I think it's Senegal. They've got a great chance. They've got a fantastic squad. So who knows? You know, they could shock the world, and he could definitely win that Ballon d'Or. But there are other big names, aren't there, James? And maybe they will get in the way.
Yeah, I mean, Karim Benzema ahead of him, Lewandowski ahead of him in the with the bookies odds at the moment, Mbappe there as well. And actually, and we joke about it, but for Sadio Mane to win it, you look at the numbers of just say Salah and Benzema ahead of him. Salah 22 goals, 15 assists. Benzema 25 goals, 11 assists. Mane 14 goals, 12 assists. Now that's not terrible from Sadio Mane, but actually, if they do the quadruple, he's kind of snookered a little bit with Salah in the season he's had, which puts him ahead of him. So actually, the answer is he needs to win the World Cup with Senegal to win himself the Ballon d'Or. I can't see any other way that he does it. So Sadio Mane's Liverpool take on Villarreal in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Villarreal have been the surprise team of the tournament. Unai Emery's done absolutely fantastic to make their way through 2 incredibly difficult ties in terms of taking on Juventus and then going past Bayern Munich. And I wonder if Bayern Munich provides a bit of a blueprint for this game against Liverpool. Of course, Bayern Munich love that high press. Liverpool will be looking to do the same. We know how they play. What's the big element for you when it comes to Villarreal providing another shock?
In terms of Unai Emery as a coach, he's going to be massively important over these 2 legs. This is what he relishes. His players, Arnaud Danjuma, coming out, calling him a tactical genius. Well, he's going to have to take on probably the best in the business in the shape of Jurgen Klopp. The good thing for Unai Emery is it's very apparent how Liverpool are going to play. He knows that they are not going to change for Villarreal. They are going to play to their strengths. They're going to do what is great for them. It's important that they can firstly pass through the press. And it's going to be tough for them, I think. They're going to have to show real quality on the ball, or they're going to have to try and bypass midfield and go maybe to a more direct game. I think they did really well on the counter-attack. I know they didn't have many chances, but over the course of the Champions League knockouts, that has been really where they've been fruitful and where they've caused these surprises. So can you release Arnaud Danjuma? Can you put him up against maybe a Trent Alexander-Arnold, who wasn't very impressive, we have to say, against Anthony Gordon in the Merseyside derby at the weekend? You know, is that an area where you can find joy? Because you remember, Villarreal capitalised on 1 or 2 chances per game and were able to get themselves through. The rest of it was built on incredible organisation, fitness, work rate, and having that plan and carrying it through, being absolutely dedicated to that cause. They're going to have to show all of that. Liverpool are clearly the firm favourites for this. They can do it. They will have to keep this a low-scoring tie right the way through and see if they can pinch something in the second leg. How do you see them stopping Liverpool at Anfield? It's not an easy thing to do.
No, not at all. But I think that they're very, very resolute, Villarreal, very actually well drilled and sort of better on the ball than you would give them credit for. But Pereiro, I think, is a huge, huge player for them. There's a great stat on him. Where is it? It's secondary chances. When it comes to secondary chances, so the pass before the pass, he's created more chances than anyone else apart from Karim Benzema. I think that's very telling. Because if you think of the goal for the 1-1 draw against Bayern Munich, his ability to be press-proof, he dealt with 3 players in that moment and then found Lo Celso playing out to in, who then found, I think it was Chukwueze. And his ability to deal with Henderson, deal with that pressure that's going to come upon them is going to be absolutely crucial because they won't have a lot of the ball. They will be playing on the counter-attack and they're going to need his quality to create those chances to give them a chance.
So looking ahead to the game itself, James, I mean, it is going to be tough, isn't it? For Villarreal up against Liverpool, the fairy tale might come to an end. How do you see the yellow submarine getting on?
I think they will be sunk, sadly. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to have a really big part to play in this game. They're always a little bit exposed, for want of a better word. It's how Liverpool want to play, to allow those 2 centre-backs just to deal with what the opposition offer. And so there is a chance there for Villarreal, as I said, with Danjuma. Moreno's hold-up play has been brilliant as well. But I think the first half might be a little bit difficult, a little bit awkward for Liverpool. But I'm going to single out Trent in particular. I think his quality on that right-hand side, I think we'll be able to find pockets of space. I would play Henderson for this game. I would rotate those 3 like they do brilliantly and did so brilliantly against Manchester United. Do the same against Villarreal. You'll wear them down and create chances, I think, for the likes of Luis Diaz, Jota, or whoever starts in that front 3. I think it will be a 2-1 victory for Liverpool, and I think they'll go on and make their way to a very impressive final, possibly against Man City. How do you see this one panning out, Hugh?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's an incredibly negative approach from Unai Emery, which is a sensible approach for me.
Survival, right?
You may get criticism for it, but you're away from home in the first leg. 0-0 is a brilliant result, an absolutely brilliant result. In fact, if it's 1-0 to Liverpool, I still think you take that, don't you? If you're Villarreal, you take that home and you think we can get a goal, maybe take it to extra time. Who knows? We score 2, we go through. This is about getting to the final. This is not about beating Liverpool at Anfield to say you won in that 90 minutes. And you know you don't have as talented a team player for player, so you need to do what you need to do to get through.
Hi guys, James Allcott here from ESPN's Football Forecast. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you want to check out more, make sure you subscribe to ESPN UK.